Hey guys, welcome to Tiny House Customs. I'm Dan. In this video I'll be continuing to make my frame around my door. Now this is 3 parts. This is part 2 of that series. The link for the previous part is in the description below. If you didn't get to see that, make sure you go check it out. So while I have my table saw set up, I'm going to rip all the door stops basically that go around the perimeter of the door. So what I did was took one of my pieces that goes around the door and I flushed it up on the bottom of the door and I put a line across it to get a reference to see how much space I have left here. Now I'm going to figure out how big I want my doorstop to be as far as the width of it. So since I screwed up on this base piece, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to transcribe? Yeah, maybe. That could possibly be the right word. I don't know. I'm not well read.
I mean, that's quite apparent. You do say some of the stupidest things I've ever heard in my life.
So now I can measure and see what I got. And I have about 1 1/8 inches to where it starts tapering down. So if I take one of my perimeter pieces and I measure off that line 1 1/8 inches, that leaves me with 1 3/4 roughly, which is the same as this piece to start with. So basically what's going to happen is this piece right here will be the same distance from here to here, and I'll have a small strip in the middle there. That looks good. That was my tape measure and I can't get it. It's so far away now. So now that I've figured out that I need my piece to be 1 1/8 inches, I'm going to set my saw up so I can make those cuts. Beautiful. So now I can rip my pieces, but I'm going to have a sneezing fit for like 10 minutes and then I need to... Ah, God, the dust in here is ridiculous. Oh man, that one hurt right there. God dang.
Bless you. You do realize every time you use that tool that people are going to comment negative things? But don't worry, I will be leading the troll brigade of safety police and internet experts in helping you recognize the dangers which are associated with such tool.
Do I dare resaw them? That's a task and a half. So I'm going to rip all the door stops down to roughly like 5/8 of an inch. A little bit more than 5/8. I don't know what the hell exactly it is, but I set up, I believe, what's called a riving knife, which will prevent this board from kicking into the blade a little bit, hopefully, so it won't cause too much damage to it. And then I also installed a feather board. I only needed one of them, but I put both of them in because it's too complicated to change the whole thing. Hopefully I'm doing the right thing. I don't know exactly what I'm doing. This feels right to me. Those didn't come out too bad. I like them. Do a chamfer. So I have my 2 vertical pieces. I'm going to cut those down to size. I measured my door. I made sure I added some for the threshold as well as the top piece. Plus I went up about another inch. And I'm going to cut them 82.5. I'm going to square up both ends. So I'm just going to take about 1/4 inch off each end, maybe 1/2 inch. These, I already checked them to make sure I don't cut too much off. How many times can we lose the tape measure today? How many? 3, 4, 5 times? Let's shoot for 20. So that's twice. You are fucking kidding me. Where is it?
Don't you remember it fell on the ground back there? You need to go pick it up there, you dumbass.
82.5. Don't screw this up. Man, the farther I go into this project, the more a small mistake would be catastrophic. I labeled this. This is the hinge side outside. I really need to put the hinges in before I go and screw this together. That's a whole nother video in itself. So I flipped the door over, so this right here is the outside of the door, and basically I'm gonna use this door as the mold for it basically, and I will fasten all this stuff on. Now if you remember in last video I made that thresholds and I said that it was short, and basically it's going to end up being about 1/4 inch short of the trim that I'm going to install on the outside. Now I was thinking about that as I was editing the video, this piece right here is going to go on the bottom of that, just like this, as a doorstop. Also, it'll be a tripping hazard, but
Only for your drunk ass.
I don't know. I kind of feel like it'll be all right if I put that in there. I made it a little thinner than the door stops on the rest of the doors, on the rest of the door. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do is, since this is going to cover this, if I take my table saw, cut right down the center, rip a piece of this wood at 1/2 inch, 5/8 of an inch, glue it in there, clamp this up, sand it, smooth it over, I can cover that piece up and it'll make this wider. Does it make sense? I think it does. I think everything I just said there made sense. Slow cut, slow clap. I'm done with this project. I'm done with it. Like, I'm not done with it, but I've had enough of it. It's really been a long project. Now this is that piece that has all those imperfections in it. I'm gonna make sure that I orient this correctly so that all this stuff hides those imperfections. That should go there. That's gonna go there.
Oh, that is beautiful. Beautiful, I tell you.
God, I can't wait for this baby to be done. I've never made anything this nice in my life. So I got my threshold, and then I have a piece of the rip off. When I ripped these pieces to length, this was the scrap that I had left over. Now, I know this probably, I think that was episode 1 of this series. That was a mistake I made. I could have made this wider and had I wouldn't have to do this step, but I didn't think about it. So I need to make a couple cuts. I'm gonna set my blade. Since I noticed this saw will go past 0 when I'm gonna raise it all the way up. Take my speed square and just check it. As long as I don't touch a tooth, it'll be right on the blade and I can see how it's running, and it's running good enough for my quality.
Oh, so you'll be selling your stuff at Home Depot. That's great. Very good.
Whoa, Peanut, what do you got against Home Depot?
They manufactured the condoms that your father used.
That's totally understandable now. 1 3/4. Measure this, it's 1 1/8. 1 3/4 plus 1 1/8 is 2 7/8. So divided by 2 is 1/2 inch and 1/16, so 9/16. So boom, boom. Right here. Get this tool so we have no safety police getting after us. So I don't flip these pieces and get them all twisted up. I'm going to put marks on them so that I know to pair them up. This points here, this points here. So when I put these back together, I know B goes together and the arrows point together. So the grain will probably look all right. So now I'm going to take this piece and I can rip it anything under that amount, which would be 3/4. Let's set it for 5/8 hair strong. Okay, wish me luck.
Yes, I'm wishing your hand slips. Don't worry.
Looks good. So now I will just glue that in between there and clamp the shit out of it. And I only got 3 clamps. This is where a joiner would be your best friend, because a joiner and planer would make these much prettier. But I don't own those fancy tools. Oh, you know what? That was a stupid mistake I just made. I didn't think about that too much now, did I? I didn't. I sure didn't. I have made another mistake. When I cut this in half, I shouldn't have went into the center of it. I should have went about 1/8 inch off of that original mark. So now when I put this on right here, that joint right here is dead nuts on this thing right here. But that's okay. Now if only I had some wood glue. I wish I thought that far ahead, because wood glue would be good here. I'm gonna glue that up and clamp it up just like that. And then plane it smooth and sand it, cut it to length, and I can put it in to the frame. And I'm gonna make that like 30 seconds of video, because that was a f up. Many f ups there. I'm so mad about that. I mean, you gotta let that go. All right, so I'm gonna glue this up. I got some tight bound wood glue, exterior waterproofing glue, $5 for that. Lowe's, or it's cheaper at the big box store, believe it or not, right? I'm just gonna do my best. That's all you can do, right? I'm gonna go buck wild with the glue. These fancy paintbrushes. Whoa, what the f happened there? If you've ever watched, I think his name is Mathis or something like that, Mateus or something like that. He does these trial and error type things, videos. And I saw him glue up both sides once of the material that he was testing, because it was just a testing thing. And that was the strongest joint I had ever seen. Or not ever seen, but it held better than anything else. This is not working very well already. Already failing. I wish I was more prepared, but I'm not. I want to be high on all this.
Oh, we're getting high. Okay, I'm coming.
Not like that high, but I want to be protruding a little. This one could come up just a... So I want to make sure that these are reasonably flush on the ends, and then this is smooth here. And now what I can do is clean that glue up. If I was a little more prepared, I would have had a rag ready. I need to clean my stuff up. Whoops. Okay, trolls, go easy on me. Go easy on me, trolley.
Nope, I'm here to stay.
All right, put this to the side. Hope it's good. Somebody told me I was ugly today. Jake and Kiva are the Tom Brady and Giselle, whatever her name is, of tiny houses. Dan, you can be Curly Howard if you want.
Well, I need to step up my trolling game, because I tell you, that's a good one.
It's like celebrities reading mean tweets. Curly Howard's like Curly Moe and Harry. Is that it? I don't know. It's before my time. He must be an old ass guy with like wrinkly balls or something. All right, so I ordered these bronze-like hinges. Boom. On, I forget, some website. It was probably Amazon. I got 3 of them. And I need to router out for these to sit in so they sit flush with the casing that goes around the door frame, and then I need to router out for where it goes into the door. Now I made this template. I didn't film any of it, because if you can't figure out how to make this by just looking at it, then you probably can't make it at all. But it's not perfect. I did several different tests, and I think I settled on this one, and I will show you. You can see right there's really bad.
Can you move the microphone away from your mouth, please? All I hear is you gasping for air. It's like you're suffocating.
But I got my depth set right with my collar on my router. I mean, overall, I'm okay with it. Now on the vertical pieces, I'm gonna butt this thing up right to it and do it. Since I want the door to sit in a little bit, I'm gonna take this, put it on here, which will give me like a 1/16 strong, and I'll put that on there, if that makes any sense. I know it doesn't, but that's okay. I know what I'm doing. Such a mess. Shouldn't have slept with that girl.
Yeah, she was a pretty questionable character. You must have met her on Backpage.
Alright guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're new to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you leave your questions and comments down below. If you want to jump ahead and watch this entire series, please consider going over to my Patreon account, which is linked in the description below, and making a small contribution to my channel. All that money goes back into projects that I do for you, as well as hopefully on a second builds. And if you would, share this to your favorite social media. So in the next video, I'll be completing the door frame that goes around this bad boy. So look forward to that. But thanks for watching, guys.